Hi, this is Mike from The Substream, and this is the special midweek Christmas Wednesday edition of Watch This Instead. There's 3 big Christmas releases coming out, 2 today on Wednesday and 1 on Christmas. The one on Christmas is Gulliver's Travels, which we've seen but can't talk about yet because we're not allowed to. So we're going to be talking about the 2 movies that came out today, one of which is the latest installation of the unstoppable laugh juggernaut that is the Meet the Parents franchise, Little Fockers, and the other of which is an adaptation of Charles Portis's 1968 classic Western novel, True Grit. It was also made into a movie in 1969 starring John Wayne. And the new one's directed by the Coen brothers, and it is also similarly called True Grit. If you only see one movie this year, go see Little Fockers. It is completely idiotic. There are almost no original jokes in it whatsoever. It's full of bad performances from good actors, or performances from actors like Harvey Keitel and Laura Dern, who are famous and could be doing interesting things wherever, but they are in this movie only for 1 or 2 short scenes. It's full of the exact same, oh my God, a person sees another person in a compromising position, but they don't know the full story, so it looks like they're having sex with somebody, but actually they're having a fun wrestle party, and it's completely innocent, but now they have to explain themselves. Gag that was literally beaten to death 10 minutes into the second film of the franchise and hasn't been funny now for years. It's an unfunny, terrible, used up, limping, old, waiting for death horse of a movie. And you will recognize it as such if you are a fan of anything that's funny or original or creative or seems to be made by people who are invested in any way whatsoever in entertaining people rather than just trotting out the same string of tired franchise jokes for Christmas time. If you're not, though, if you're not a fan of funny things or creative things, and if you're the kind of person that only sees one movie a year, you won't recognize that all of these jokes are ancient and all of these performances aren't very good because you'll have nothing to compare to because you only see one movie per year and you're not a fan of movies or laughing. So if you're the kind of person that only sees one movie a year, go see Little Fockers. You'll probably really like it. Just don't talk to me about it afterwards. If you see a bunch of movies this year, if you've already seen a bunch of them, it probably means you actually like movies. You should make sure that one of the movies that you see this year is the Coen brothers' True Grit, their take on the Charles Portis novel, because it's really, really good. You don't have to be a fan of Westerns, you don't have to have read the book or seen the John Wayne original. In fact, you probably will be a fan of Westerns after seeing this one if you're not already. It's a story of Maddie Ross, who tells a story of when she, at the age of 14, went to town to hire a marshal to track down the man, the crook that killed her father. She ends up with a drunk, irascible old coot with one eye and true grit named Rooster Cogburn, who was played in the 60s version by John Wayne in the only role he won an Oscar for, and who was played in the Coen brothers version by Coen brothers veteran Jeff Bridges. She also ends up, weirdly, hiring a proud peacock of a Texas Ranger named LaBeef, who's played in the new one by Matt Damon, who's really good in this, in a role that's not his usual thing. It's Haley Steinfeld, though, the 14-year-old girl who plays Maddie Ross, that completely steals this film. She's the best thing in the film by far, and that's saying a lot because all the other performances in the film are top-notch as well. She's absolutely, almost nearly perfect as the young, determined, morally upright seeker of truth and justice and conqueror of chaos. She manages to set right a moral wrong by the end of the film, and in doing so bring some measure of honor and meaning to the lives of 2 old men. It's a giant reset button on the Western genre, undoing what Clint Eastwood did in his probably best Western ever, Unforgiven, 15 or whatever years ago, when he said in that film that there was no romance in justice, no glory in retribution, and nothing worth emulating in violence and death and murder in the Old West. The Coen's True Grit is old-fashioned in the best possible usage of that phrase, and it's entertaining in its uncomplex morality. It's clear and it's simple and it's incredibly well-made nonetheless. You should see it if you're a fan of movies, but if you only see one movie this year, go see whatever piece of garbage because it won't matter to you because you don't like movies. But if you do like movies, go see True Grit because I guarantee you will enjoy it. So you should watch that instead. Merry Christmas. We'll be back on Christmas to tell you whether or not to go see Gulliver's Travels. Ooh, the suspense.